let's practice some yin yoga. So my friends, today we're practicing winter yin, and the element in the Chinese 5-element theory is water, which is most closely associated with this season. So each season is associated with an element, and for winter it's associated with water. So thinking about the organs or the meridians that are most closely aligned to the element of water is the kidneys and the urinary bladder. So we're working on those meridians and those organs for our practice today. Let's come, the mudra that we're going to be using is Varuna mudra. So bring the little finger and the thumb together, and the middle fingers aligned, palms face up as if you're pouring water from a vessel. Closing your eyes and settling here. Tuning into the flow of the breath. Visualize the breath with the smooth, malleable quality of water. The smoothness with which water flows. The smoothness with which you breathe. The fluidity of the movement of water. The fluidity of the breath as you breathe in and out. In winter, water changes from soft, malleable flowing to hard, frozen ice. From tiny, unique snowflakes to a mass of ice. Inhaling, take a full breath in and draw the breath from the crown all the way down to the kidney. As you exhale, breathe from the kidneys down to the soles of your feet. Inhaling, bringing your hands together in Namaskar. Chanting Om 3 times to welcome us to our practice. Take a full breath in. Om. 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 Welcome, welcome, welcome. So our first pose, we're going to come into a reclined pose, a reclined butterfly with a Konasana. So my friends, let's reach for our bolster or our bolster equivalent, which could be large pillows. And we want to create an angle for our bolster. So you can use blocks, or you can stack up some cushions at the top end, or use the low footstool. And so that you have, bolster is covered in block hair, so that you have an angle that feels sustainable for you when you recline. So not too low, nor too high. So for me, this is the perfect angle. Let's bring our sacrum up to the base of the pillow. Bring the soles of your feet together. I'm wearing warm woolly socks. So if you have a tendency to have cold feet, wear some socks or cover your feet with a blanket. Bring your hands to either side of your hips, and using your hands as a scaffold, bend into your elbows and lower onto your bolster. Heart is open here. Hips are open. Palms face up with your thumb and little finger connected in Varuna mudra, the water balancing gesture. Tuck in the chin. If it feels as if you're cricking at the back of the neck, you can always fold up a blanket and create a little pillow at the head of your bolster. And we'll be here for 3 minutes to start with. So settling in here, turning, making sure that the lighting is down low if you are at home in the dark night. Tucking your chin. And if the arms are feeling a little extended, you can always place some cushions underneath the backs of the hands so that your hands are slightly lifted from the earth. This will release the tension in the shoulders. That's an option for you to explore here. And I invite you to connect with the qualities of water. I flow with changes in life. I soften and surrender to the calling of life, to the calling of my heart. I embrace all the comforts with gratitude. Softening here through the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, the pelvis, the lower back, middle back, shoulder blades, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers, feet, legs, abdomen, arms, hands. Softening here. Soften the collarbone, the jaw, cheekbone, the brow. Soften the mouth into a gentle smile. The essence of water is adaptability. Of mobility, of fluidity. In winter, when we retreat into our caves, we can sometimes feel stuck or stagnant. Remember the flow of water in order to invite us into energy. 3 more full breaths here in Supta Baddha Konasana. And then releasing your Varuna Mudra. Lifting your arms and very gently placing your hands on either side of your thighs and drawing your knees in together till the soles of your feet connect with the mat. Then place your hands very loosely, palms face down on the mat. Rest here for a moment. And then let's turn to the left side, the side of the heart. Rolling here on your bolster. Before rising up to a seat. And from here, my friends, we're going to move into a variation of the lying down twist. So today I'm going to invite you to use either a block or a cushion too. So let's have a look. I'm going to use a block as my example. So reaching for your block. Lift your, recline on the earth, and then lift your hips and pelvis and place the block underneath your sacrum. Now, this could be a couple of cushions. This could be a folded blanket. Anything that creates lift from the earth. And then here, my friends, place your feet flat on the earth. And then bend into the left knee and hug that leg in towards you, towards the heart. And then lift the toes to the sky and place your hands at the back of your thighs. Just check how you're feeling underneath the sacrum. Now, if your tailbone feels tender here, it might be that the positioning of your block isn't at a comfortable spot. So perhaps shift it around. Now, the intention here, my friend, is reach up through the heel to the sky. Left leg is lifted. As you exhale, we're going to turn to the right and bring the left leg down towards the earth. Stay on your block. Just creating a little bit of space. You can also place a block underneath your foot. So you create a twist here at the lower body. Now, if your block doesn't feel comfortable here, my friends, let me remove my anchor. If your block doesn't feel comfortable and you realize it doesn't feel comfortable, what you can do is wrap a blanket around your block, and that will soften it. So I'm going to create a little softening on the block. I turn to my right hip and extend my left leg long here. So I'm lifted, my hips and pelvis are lifted off the earth. My left leg crosses over my body and is extended. Now your left foot can come directly onto the earth, or you can place it on a cushion or a block or a bolster so that the earth lifts up. The right leg extends. Hands on the earth, backs of the hands on the earth. That left shoulder obviously won't reach the earth because your hips are lifted, but open out the left shoulder so that you're creating this twist, a corkscrew effect. We're working deeply here on the urinary bladder and the kidneys. Remember, if that block or bolster, blanket or cushion doesn't feel comfortable underneath your right hip, you can remove it and lie directly on the earth. Close your eyes here. This is a challenging asana. And therefore, it's not going to be an asana that invites or creates that sensation of softness. Instead, here, I invite you to create a feeling of firm, hard ice, like icicles, that your legs are as if they are icicles. Connect with the strength, the hardness of ice, and yet also think about the fragility that is inherent. So within strength, there is vulnerability. In vulnerability, there is strength. Three full breaths here in this variation of a reclined twist, Supta Matsyendrasana. Now here, my friends, we're going to move with real care. Bend into the left knee. And as you bring that left foot back to the earth, roll onto your sacrum on your block or bolster or cushion. You may need to readjust your slightly changed position here. And leave that left leg extended for a moment, the right leg extended, sorry, and the left knee bent, left foot on the earth. And place your hands on your lower abdomen here. Create a connection between the palms of your hand and the urinary bladder. Bend into your right knee. Take a moment here with both feet on the earth. So this sort of feels like a supported bridge, supported Setu Bandhasana. That block, cushion or folded blanket underneath the sacrum area. Make sure that your tailbone feels comfortable. So you may need to move the block up or down, shifting it slightly. Bend into your right knee and hug it into the heart here. And so we're going to take this right leg over to the left, and we're going to roll on our blanket and come onto our left hip here. Extend the left leg long. So this might take a little bit of maneuvering. If you're by a wall like me, you won't be able to extend that right leg. So I'm going to turn around so that I am able to extend that leg. This is a tricky asana, my friends. So think about not only your comfort, but think about how you feel secure here. And that right foot can be on the earth, or you can have a cushion placing underneath the right foot so the foot is lifted off the earth here. Open the right shoulder. Open the heart, creating this corkscrew twist. This is working on the organs, kidney organ and the urinary bladder organs, the seat of the element of water, the meridians, which are associated with these organs, helping the vital life force energy to flow, chi to flow smoothly. And remember, if being raised on a block or cushion doesn't feel comfortable, you can come directly to the earth with the hips. You're rolled onto your left hip here. We'll be here for another few breaths. And if this feels particularly challenging in one kidney compared to the other kidney, that's not unusual. We may be a little depleted or fatigued. We may have a tenderness in one kidney. 3 more breaths here. And then returning back to center with care. So bend into that right knee and bring the right foot to the earth as you roll back onto your sacrum. Be sure to support yourself with your hands where you need. Then keeping that left leg extended, bending the right knee, let's place our hands on our lower abdomen. this can feel very soothing. One of my suggestions to you for the winter is that you can use this position and place a sandbag or a weighted blanket on the lower abdomen, just around the bladder area. And this will feel very soothing and comforting during the winter. When you're ready, my friends, let's bend into that left foot, left knee, bend into that left knee, and then bring the left foot so it's parallel to the right foot. So you're back in Setu Bandhasana. So here, while we're in Setu Bandhasana, we're going to bridge pose. I'm going to invite you to reach overhead with your arms so that they're longer overhead. So create some space behind you if the space is not available. And the option here, my friends, I'm bringing my hands into Varuna Mudra. So thumb and little finger. The little finger represents the element of water, Jal. So I bring the thumb and together and allow the middle fingers to soften. Arms reaching overhead. So this is an option here that we can stay in. Or if you wish, you can extend your legs long and allow the feet to fall out. If again it begins to feel uncomfortable at the tailbone, it might be that your block isn't in the right place. So you might want to shift it around either a little higher or a little lower on the sacrum until you come to a position where you feel that you have the extension along the full length of the body. Without any discomfort in the tailbone area. If you do experience discomfort in the lower back, particularly with the legs extended, bend into your knees and have your feet flat on the earth. And once again here, you can feel that there can be a softness to the quality of your breath, a softness to the tone of your body. Soften through the toes, all the way through the length of the body to the fingers. And then from the fingers all the way down to the toes. Softening each part of your body as you travel with your awareness. Three full breaths here, my friends. I'm reluctant to move from this asana. This is a very deeply relaxing asana. Releasing tension throughout the body. It's almost as if the kidneys are, and we flush out toxins through our kidneys. So this asana really draws upon this principle of releasing, of letting go, of detoxifying. Let's bend into your knees if your legs are extended long, to come back into Setu Bandhasana with your feet on the earth. And let's bring the arms down and place the hands on the lower abdomen again. And from here, my friends, we're going to hug in the knees. So what I suggest you do is slightly lift your seat to remove your block. If you're sitting on a block, a blanket or a cushion is probably soft enough to enable you to do it. We're going to hug in the left knee and the right knee to come into our wind relieving pose. So allow the lower back to connect with the earth here. This will offer some support for the lower back, especially as we've been extending. Perhaps you roll from left to right and your lower back to come into some soothness. And then from here, my friends, I invite you to roll over to your left side and rest there for a moment in sleeping baby. And we are going to come into Sphinx pose. So we're going to come directly onto our abdomen from sleeping baby. Yes, this Krishna baby. Roll onto your abdomen, moving slowly so that you're now in Sphinx pose. For Sphinx pose today, let's find some support. So I'm using either cushions or folded blankets. I'm just going to try to see what kind of height I want. And I'm going to place my forearms on my cushions rather than directly on the earth. So this gives me a slightly different experience here. So it lifts the earth up towards me. But I feel supported. This does give us a deeper back bend. And then as you can see in this deeper back bend here, we are really kind of stimulating the kidneys. You can also use your blocks here underneath your forearms. So you can lay them as tracks, railway tracks. And then place your folded blanket on top. And again, place your forearms on the blocks here. And in this instance, because I can't lay my hands flat because I have blocks under my forearms, I might interlace my fingers. This is a deep back bend. So if at any point it begins to feel uncomfortable and unsustainable, remove the blocks and bring your forearms to the earth. Or move into Makrasana, crocodile pose, where you place your hands on top of each other and rest your eyebrows center on the backs of your hands. Your elbows are out to the sides of your mat. This is also great if you just practice the practice that we have today. It's also great as a detox after you've been celebrating a little too much by drinking all those Christmas tipples and spirits and mulled wine. You might want to release through the kidneys. Let's have 3 more breaths here, my friend. And then we're going to move very gently back into child's pose. So remove your elbows from your support and then lift and reach back with the tailbone towards the feet. Now your legs can be closer together, or you can have your legs as wide as the mat and come into your variation of child pose. So you can have your hands stretched out ahead of you. You can place your hands on top of each other and rest the eyebrows center on your backs of your hands, or you can bring your arms alongside your body. This is to help release and nourish the kidneys. The kidneys are the storehouse, the essence of our energy, chi. So allow the element of water to flow freely through the kidneys here in Savasana. From here, my friends, we're going to move into sort of half frog pose. On your mat, I'm going to invite you to bring your folded blanket. So sort of maybe fold it so it's kind of, depending on what size your blanket is, so it's sort of the size of a cushion. And when we come onto our abdomen, we want to place our hips and pelvis and lower abdomen on the folded blanket. You don't need the blanket to be very high, but just so that it gives us a little bit of softness. So let's come back prone onto our mat. Take the elbows out to the side and backs of hands together, and bend into the right knee so that you create the letter H with the legs. So bend into the right knee and the foot is soft here so that you create the letter H on the earth. Our elbows are out to the side. Backs of hands, we stack the hands and bring the eyebrow center to the back of the hand that's on top. Another thing that's really wonderful here, if you have something that's weighted, I'm just going to show it to you. I don't have my sandbags down here, but you could always place a weighted blanket or sandbag on your lower back. And that can feel amazing in winter. Very soothing. It's also great if you are experiencing cramps during your moon cycle. You can always turn to your left ear. After a while, it feels too much to have your eyebrow center on the back of your hand. We're not here for very long. I know you want to stay here because this is a delicious asana. So this is preparing us for frog pose. Now, just for the last minute, let's rise up onto our forearms and interlace our fingers so that we are in a variation of frog / Sphinx pose. If this feels too intense for you, come right back to where you were by bringing your eyebrow center to the back of the hand and elbows out to the side. So this is the season when we get all kinds of coughs and colds and flus and clearly with COVID-19. So working with the element of water can help to shift some of the seasonal health issues, will help us to feel supported through those. If we have the stamina or the health in which to practice yin. Let's bring that right leg long. Rest your eyebrows center on the earth and take your arms alongside your body, palms face up just for a moment. And soften the back of the neck, soften the shoulders, soften the back of the heart. Allow the earth to support you here fully. And then, my friends, let's come back into our frog pose. So elbows out to the side. Let's place the opposite hand on top this time. And bend into the left knee so that your hip, knee are aligned. And your knee and ankle are aligned, creating the letter H on the earth. Eyebrows center on the back of the hands. Or you can also turn to the right temple so that your right ear is down. The element of water in Chinese 5 element theory is connected to the sense organ of the ear. So winter is a time for deep listening, tuning in to hear the call of the body, listening to what the world is saying, trusting the sound of your own voice, expressing your needs and hearing the needs of others. It helps us to become more articulate in sharing all that sits within. We'll be here for another few moments, my friends, before I give you the option to lift onto your forearms to come into this sort of variation of Sphinx and frog. Inhale to rise up onto your forearms if you wish. Interlace your fingers here, and this time interlace your fingers in the opposite direction. So cross with the other thumb on top. We tend to lead with our dominant side. So let's switch it up for the opposite side. Few more breaths here, and then we're going to practice frog pose. So let's rise up onto our knees and let's prepare for frog pose. So what you might need to do here is open your blanket quite wide now so that your knees are resting on the blanket rather than directly on the earth. That will sort of soften the experience. And we're going to use a prop, so either a large pillow or a bolster. So that the earth is lifted up, and we're going to place our forearms on the bolster or the pillow or the low footstool. Let's bend into our knees and spread our knees as wide as the mat, if not a little wider. Keep the knees and the ankles aligned. And then bring your forearms onto the bolster or pillow. So options here are that your arms are sort of creating a V shape, hands interlaced, or you can cross your arms here and rest your eyebrow center on the back of your forearm. You will feel an opening in your hips here. You can be quite high off the earth here. Or you may find that your knees create a little bit more space after a while and sort of slip out and lower your hips to the earth. This is not about how close to the earth you are. This is about the experience of openness that you have in your hips. Remember, sometimes if we're very flexible, we experience the sensation less. So it's the experience of the sensation in your body that matters. The element of water, as we know, is also connected to the principle of creation, of creativity. I'm just looking to see where my dog's gone and he's not on his bed. Over there. They've both abandoned me today because they're sitting with their big sister, their niece, and they're snoring. Everyone's literally snoring in my household today. You, my friends, are having a delicious time with your winter yin practice, nourishing yourselves. I know you're not happy here in Frog. Very few people are happy in Frog. And if you're one of those people, you must let me know. Let's slowly lift our hips and walk the knees in towards each other. Bring the knees completely close together. And let's sit back in child pose. Really, let's close everything up here. Hug it all into the midline. Create a small ball or rock. Alongside you, palms face up perhaps. And then let's rise up, my friend. We're going to go into toe squat. That may be even less popular with you. Pad your knees, if you need, with a blanket. And then tuck your toes. So I've got my socks on, so you may not be able to see my toes, but tuck your toes underneath you. Have your knees on the blanket for padding. Now, if you have your bolster or your pillow there, bring it a little closer, and you can again rest your forearms on your bolster with your toes tucked. Or you can sit up and have your hands on your bolster or on your thighs. When you lean forward with your weight, it releases the intensity in your toes, and when you sit up, it brings the weight to bear on your toes, so that will feel more intense. So winter is that time when there's a sort of natural drawing in, a natural downward pull, a retreat or withdrawal. And sometimes we can get stuck here, we can feel stagnant. And so shifting the energy through working with the element of water, we can sort of see the melting of the ice, a little thawing out. Let's come out of the toe squat. I know it's going to feel a little challenge, so untuck your toes and allow the tops of your feet to connect with the earth. That will help to flow the chi through the feet. Now from here, my friends, we're going to go into a threading the needle. So knees are parallel. Take a moment here. And then let's place the right hand underneath the heart and draw the left arm up. As you exhale, thread the left arm underneath you. And bring your left shoulder and left ear to the earth or onto a cushion or blanket. Now this right arm can extend long and come up high on your fingertips. We lost my sound there for a moment. My jumper, very cozy jumper, is like a scarf. Now from here, my friends, I'm going to invite you to think about creating a different experience in our threading the needle. So I'm just creating some space for myself so that you can. The left arm is underneath me, exposing everything. I took myself in, friends. I'm carrying a little winter weight already, and I'm sure you don't want to see it. I certainly don't want to show it. So that right arm can be extended. Or you can bring that right arm to the back of the lower sacrum so that the back of the hand is on the kidney. Now this right leg can come out to the side. See what that feels like. You can take your right hand out to the side to sort of counterbalance and steady it. So try this variation. This right arm can be on the sacrum. This right arm can be extended out to the side, so perpendicular from your body. And you can also take the right leg out to the side, so that the right leg and the hand act as a scaffold. Right hand can go to the kidney. We don't often practice this variation of it. So if it feels unusual and you're not content here, you can always bring that leg and back to the one breath here. And then let's bring that right hand back to the left and rise up with the left arm to the sky, and then bring the left hand to the back. So we're going to go the other way. So what I'm going to do is turn around so you can see. So this time, left hand comes underneath you, reach up with the right and thread it underneath your body. Bring the right ear and right shoulder to the mat. Left arm can extend forward, come up high on your fingertips. This is just to help us sort of find our grounding. Now the option from here is to bring that left arm to the lower sacrum, palm face up, the back of the kidneys here really. Or you can take the left arm out to the side, come up high on your fingertips and extend the left leg out. Then you create this scaffold to the left. You're on the right shoulder, the right ear. Pepper is snoring very loudly, but you can't hear him apparently because of these very clever ear things. Three more breaths here. And let's bring that left knee back to the earth, left hand closer to the body, and then inhale to rise. How's the sound, Annie? Oh, I just heard it make a noise. Okay, I love to check my sound. Let's come back into tabletop for a moment. And from here, my friends, we're going to come to the earth. Not Shavasana just yet. Just checking the time. Let's spread the blanket out onto your mat. Make it nice and warm. You can, I'm laughing, my friends, because I have my husband pointing fingers at me to tell us how long we have left, which is very helpful. Let's come on to the backs. Now we're coming into reclined moon pose, Supta Chandrasana, otherwise known as banana asana because you look like a banana. Let's walk the left foot to the bottom left-hand corner of the mat and take the right foot with us. Leaving the hips where they are, shuffle the shoulders in towards the left so that the head goes to the top left-hand corner. You've created a C shape on the earth. Arms can reach over, and you can take hold of your right wrist with your left. You can also cross the right ankle over the left ankle to intensify the experience on the right side. And this, my friends, you will be really experiencing in your kidneys. So you have a constriction on one side and a tension or stretch on the other side. You may close your eyes. Thinking about how in this season in which nature is dormant, yet even within that, there is new growth deep in the roots. There's the drawing up of sustenance and nourishment to prepare for the season of growth ahead. So thinking about how that applies to you, listening deeply so that you may grow in the season ahead. Let's release the right wrist, uncross the right ankle, and walk the feet, the head, the arms back to center. Neutralize there for a moment or two. And then, my friends, let's walk the feet over to the bottom right-hand corner. Shuffle the shoulders and the head to the top right-hand corner. Option to reach overhead and take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. And cross the left ankle over the right to intensify the experience, if that is what you wish to be with. Eyes can be closed here, my loves. Softening here. When you're ready, my loves, let's uncross the ankle, release the wrist, and gently and mindfully move back to center. Take a moment to align here. And we're going to prepare for our Savasana. So layer up if you're not already. Set your timer with a beautiful chime at the end of it for 5, 10 or 15 minutes. Having a short Shavasana here will not necessarily have an impact on your sleep later. These short periods of deep rest provide nourishment and sustenance through the season ahead. Covering yourself with a blanket if you need. Covering your eyes with an eye pillow. Settling here. From the toes, softening all the way through the feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, upper legs, hips and pelvis, sacrum, curve in the lower back, the middle back, the shoulder blades, the shoulders, the collarbone, the sternum, the rib cage, the abdomen, the hips and pelvis, the tops of the legs, the backs of the legs, the knees, the back of the knees, the shins, the calves, the ankles, the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, the toes of both feet, the fingers, the palms, the hands, the wrists, the lower arms, the elbows, the upper arms, the shoulders, the collarbone, the neck, the jaw, cheekbones, the eyebrow center, the crown, softening here. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet for dissolving the hard, inflexible, nothing can surpass it. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet for dissolving the hardened, inflexible, nothing can surpass it. I leave you here, my friends, in your Shavasana. And when you're ready to rise, closing your practice by chanting Om Shanti. Om Shanti. 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 Dhanyavad.